Hello, in today's video we will be looking at how to rationalise the denominator for GCSE Maths. But what does it mean to rationalise the denominator? Well, in this question type we're given a fraction which has a surd in its denominator. And then what we need to do is rationalise this fraction so that it has no surd in its denominator. So let's look at our first question to see what we need to do. So the fraction we need to simplify is 1 over root 2 plus 1. Obviously, to keep this fraction the same, we need to multiply it by a fraction which is the same on the top and the bottom, so that it's equal to 1. But what is that fraction that we need to write? Well, to work that out, we just need to find out the inverse of this, the root 2 plus 1. And to find the inverse, it's quite simple. All we need to do is change it from plus to minus 1. So we get root 2 plus minus 1 over root 2 minus 1. And then if we write this out, we get 1 lot of root 2 minus 1 over root 2 plus 1 root 2 minus 1. You may have noticed this, and that is that root 2 plus 1 times root 2 minus 1 is actually a difference of 2 squares. So it can be simplified down to root 2 times root 2 plus 1 times minus 1. So root 2 times root 2 would simply give us 2, and then 1 times negative 1 would give us minus 1. So we can just get rid of the plus and make it 2 minus 1. So that's our denominator. And then obviously 1 lot of root 2 minus 1 is just root 2 minus 1. Next, we can simplify our denominator down to make it root 2 minus 1 over 1. And there's no point in having a fraction with 1 as its denominator. So we can cross that out. And there is our answer, root 2 minus 1. Now let's look at question 2. Our fraction this time is 3 over root 6 minus 2. So what's the inverse? It would be root 6 plus 2. So let's write out that fraction as well. And then we write out 3 lots of root 6 plus 2 over root 6 minus 2 root 6 plus 2. And again, this is a difference of 2 squares. So we get root 6 times root 6 plus negative 2 times 2. And this simplifies down to 6, as root 6 times root 6 is just 6. And this simplifies to negative 4. So again, we can get rid of the plus sign to make it 6 minus 4. That's our denominator. And then our numerator is 3 lots of root 6 plus 3 lots of 2, which gives us 3 root 6 plus 6. And then we can simplify down our denominator to make it 3 root 6 plus 6 over 2. And that would be our answer. Now on to question 3. Our fraction here is 4 over root 3 plus 1. So you might have worked it out. Our inverse is root 3 minus 1. So let's write out that fraction. And then this would give us a numerator of 4 lots of root 3 minus 1 and a denominator of root 3 plus 1 root 3 minus 1. So if we expand the numerator, we get 4 root 3 minus 4, and then using difference of two squares to expand out the denominator. I'm not going to write it all out this time. Will just give us 3 minus 1. And then we can simplify this to 4 root 3 minus 4 over 2. But we can even take this a step further. We can cross out our over 2 and change this to 2 and this to 2 to give us 2 root 3 minus 2. As if we divide 4 root 3 by 2, we get 2 root 3. And if we divide negative 4 by 2, we get negative 2. So there's our answer. Now on to question 4. This one's quite a tricky one, as we have surds on the top and the bottom. But let's stick to our usual method and write it out. 3 minus root 5 over 5 plus root 5. And our inverse would be, remember, we have to look at the denominator to work out the inverse. It would be 5 minus root 5 on the top and on the bottom. And then we can write this to 3 minus root 5, 5 minus root 5. And then our denominator would be 5 plus root 5, 5 minus root 5. And then this would simplify to 15 minus 8 root 5 plus 5. And the denominator would become 25 minus 5. Then, if we collect like terms, we would get 20 minus 8 root 5 over 20. And then we have a common factor of 4 for all of these numbers, 20 and 8. So we can simplify this further to give us 5 minus 2 root 5 over 5. And there's a simplified form. Next, it's question 5. At this point, feel free to pause the video and attempt the question yourself before resuming it to see if you were correct. So, let's write out our method. 1 over root 5 minus root 2 times the inverse, which this time would be root 5 plus root 2. So that would be on the top and the bottom. And that gives us root 5 plus root 2 over root 5 minus root 2 times root 5 plus root 2, which is quite a mouthful. And that simplifies further to root 5 plus 2, or root 2, over 5 minus 2, due to difference of two squares. And then we can rewrite this as root 5 plus root 2 over 3. That's our answer. Finally, here's a little challenge for you to try yourself at home. Attempt the question on screen, and when you think you have the answer, leave it down below in the comments, and I'll tell you if you're right. Finally, thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe for more similar videos. See you next time.